Well, hello everyone. Just gonna give a quick update about what's going on. So I might have pretty much failed on that generator build. I was close, and so this is kind of what happened. I got the generator, I got the gas engine, so I'm gonna go for just a quick ride around the neighborhood a little bit while I explain this. So I got the engine. So I got the engine, and then the generator, and also the step-up controller, and I put it all together. The engine actually ran fine. It was a little difficult to start since it's a two-stroke engine with, you know, it's a pretty cheap two-stroke engine. Like it was a used second-hand. It cost like around $50 for it, but it actually did start. And I had it turning the generator for a little bit, but the problem was that I put it on only two supports for the gas for the gas engine, and then afterwards it was just vibrating too crazy. So I decided to add another support for it. I found another mount hole for a support that, you know, basically helped stabilize it pretty well. But then the pull cord broke, and that's when I think at that point, when I had the third mount on that gas engine, I think it was actually really close to working, because I was checking the readings from my multimeter, and I got it to exceed, in terms of power. Wow, it's still kind of cold. In terms of voltage generation, I got it to exceed 20 volts or more. So which means it was actually producing a decent amount of power. So I put the third mount on, and then the generator cord, or sorry, the gas engine pull cord broke. And this is when the problem came. The design of that engine, when that cord breaks, I had to actually take apart the entire engine, which means taking apart the clutch bell, which was, that was probably the most difficult part, because there's a screw that holds in the clutch bell, which is a torque screw, and every single YouTube tutorial says that it was a 25 torque screw. So I ordered one, and obviously it was not a 25 torque screw. So I was pretty disappointed at that point, because I already lost, quite a number of, well, I just went through that kind of sucked. Quite a number of days trying to futz around with it. I was getting kind of frustrated at that point, because I knew I was so close when I put that third mount on there. It wasn't vibrating like crazy, where it was like disastrous, as it was before with the two mounts. Because when I had the two mounts, I thought that if I connected it to the generator, which was on 4 mounts, that it would, it would stabilize it. But that was actually a really bad assumption. But with the third mount, it was actually working really, really well, and I felt I was really, really close. I was really close to it actually working completely. But anyway, so then I need to change the pull cord. I just take apart the entire engine, including the clutch bell, the pull cord. I had to actually open up the engine compartment so I could stop the cranks and the pistons from going up and down, so that I can have enough, so that I can take off the clutch bell. So I took everything off, and I tried to put it all back together. I think I screwed up when I put it back together, when I tried to put in the pull cord again. It was just making this really nasty rattling sound when I tried to start it up again. So that's kind of how it is at the moment. So I think building a generator part is a fail. So I have a couple options. I think there's like 5 options that I could do. The first thing is that I could buy another 25cc engine But I'm not sure about that. I thought I was really close, but I'm not sure. Just given the fact how bad I am in building this, do I actually really want to try that again? So that's one option. Wow, this bike is kind of lumpy. The second option is I actually found a 500 watt generator, the one that I was looking for, the Powerhouse 500 WI. So really small. It's like, what's the dimensions? It's like 12 inches tall by 8 inches wide by 13 inches long. So not too bad, right? It's not like a super big box that goes on the back, as I've seen this. And this is a 4-stroke too. Produces probably around 500 watts max. So enough for an 84 volt 3 amp charger to run pretty comfortably on it without too much effort. That's option, but that costs. They want a really big premium on that engine. That engine is discontinued, so the seller wants a big premium. They're asking $245 for that. That's quite pricey. And then plus I also have to buy a charger, which is another 25 bucks. So that's pretty pricey, I feel. The third option, and I'm actually leaning toward this option quite a bit, is to get a 2-stroke, about 1,000 watts, or in this case it's like 900 watts system or generator. And that one is like 100 bucks basically for the generator, and then $25 for the for the charger. And this also, this is a 2-stroke generator, so that's why it's so much cheaper than the 4-stroke 500, than the 4-stroke, the one that I just mentioned before. So this is option C. The other good thing about this, and I'll put these options up on the screen so that you can see what the difference is. The other good thing about this option is that I can buy a fast charger eventually from China. So the US, they only sell the 3 amp chargers, so the 84 volt 3 amp, which is around 240 volts, watts, sorry, 240 watts of power, which is basically enough power to get you around 10 miles per hour on an e-bike. So not so much, but it's not too bad. It's something. It adds up over time. Wow, it's so cold out here still. But so that gives me an option to buy a fast charger, which can go up to 10 amps at 84 volts. So this is 900 volt 900 volt generator, and I can get an 84 volt 10 amp charger. So that's 840 watts. 840 watts for me, since I'm a light rider, will take me 30 miles per hour. So that means that I'm getting 30 miles per hour from that engine, in addition to what I can actually get from the battery. So that's huge. Sorry, 1 second. I got a phone call. Who the hell is calling? Oh, it's an unknown number. But anyway, so that means I can go pretty fast with that charger. At 840 watts of power is a lot. That's a lot. So I could start out at with just a basic slow charger at 3 amps, and then work my way up to maybe 7 amp or 10 amp charger, which would be crazy. So that's option C. Option D is to go with an engine that I know and try the generator build again. The engine that I really know is the HS, the Huashin style 4-stroke engines. There's two varieties, so this is two options. There's a 38 cc, and there's also a 49 cc engine. With the so if I use those two engines, one is 145 and the other one is like 155. So I can try that. And the other thing that gives me is that I can also, if the generator build fails again, I can actually use those engines to create a friction drive, gas friction drive motorized kit for my bike. I really don't like the idea of having two drive systems, especially a friction drive. So I'll go a little faster. A friction drive, because with a friction drive, I just don't like two things going wrong at once, which is two drivetrains that could go wrong. I'd rather just have one, but that is another idea. See, the other thing is I'm really liking the 72 volts. Like, you can't get this speed with the 36 volts as fast as I just went. You can't, if I switch to the 36, if I use the generator, self-made generator build, I probably had to stay at 36 volts, and you can't have that sudden acceleration of power and speed with 36 volts. I can eventually get to 30 miles per hour on the 36 volts, but it'll be like a wide open throttle, full amps, 40 amps, going through the wires, which is, you need to have pretty good wires to do 40 amps, and controllers and systems to push that much current through. So right now I'm gravitating towards the two-stroke, and that engine is, the size is, I think it's 12 inches by 13 inches by 14 inches. The only thing I don't like is the fact that it's 13 inches wide. But I mean, it's something that I cannot probably I just have to live with it. It wouldn't be as big of a, so if you were to use a 4-stroke version of a 1,000-watt generator, it would be like 20 inches high, which would be, pretty bad, pretty unsightly. But 12 inches on the back of a bike, 12 by 12, so basically a 1-foot box cube. That's not that, I don't think that's bad. And then plus, I don't have to deal with the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing with building a generator. So I'm gravitating towards that in a moment. I'll give the current generator I have, I'll try to fix it one more time this weekend when it's a little bit nicer, a little bit warmer. But yeah, so I kind of failed. I pretty much failed on that, but I was close. It was just that the design of that puller, I don't know. I should have been able to fix that puller cord correctly without too much problem, but yeah, I screwed up.